It's almost like surreal to me, as I said. And it's like unbelievable that I am able to come back after 43 years. Once I stepped in Kitbog again, I remember every detail of my experience there. And it's so amazing. So amazing.
The mountains of Matutum in Malalag, Cogon, Sarangani Province set the backdrop of the special calling that Pastor Apollo C. Quiboloy received in 1974. The Almighty Father spoke to him in Kitbog as he tarried there for a year. He was led to make a very important decision that is relevant to the salvation of humanity today. Pastor Apollo was in his early 20s, spending his life as a young evangelist assigned in different places in the Philippines. He just arrived from Seoul, South Korea, where he heard an audible voice, Gamiton Taka. This experience was monumental in the activation of his calling as the appointed son. Circumstances, one after another, brought him to isolation in this mountain.
It was the Father's plan already. He used a man, and this man does not even know me. And then he came to the compound of that denomination I belong in, Agdao. While I was cleaning my motorcycle, he came just like that. And he said, "Where's Apollo Quiboloy?" I said, "Why?" "Because I have a message for you." And I said, "I am the one." And he said, "Please come to my hotel because the Lord has a message for you." I looked at him and I was very skeptic about what he said, and there were questions in my mind. He said, "I know you have doubts, but if you come, and accept my invitation, then you will know." So in my mind, why would I not try? So I went to the hotel where he gave the name of the hotel and the room. I knocked on the door. He was there, was reading a Bible. I stayed there in that afternoon until midnight. Until midnight came, and he prayed, and then he slept. I know the time was like 11:57, and then I was looking up at the ceiling. My eyes were open, and all of a sudden the scene was changed. I don't know how it happened. What I saw was an open heaven, stars above, like when you stare at the sky in midnight where there is no moon, and the stars shone brightly. There was one prominent star there that caught my attention. It got bigger and bigger, going towards me, until it became a hand holding a bronze cauldron being shown to me from side to side. And the voice said, "This is bronze." On the other side was written in English, "Strive to rhyme for unity." And on the other side was written something that was told to me that I cannot divulge to anyone. Until now. I woke up, and all of a sudden I saw the clock, it was already 12. It just took like more than 2 minutes for that vision to happen. I did not tell him. It was just in me. I got very curious. But after a while, the curiosity was gone. I thought to myself that maybe it's just a passing breath, He said the government gave me a ministry to the IPs. So I have a schedule to go to the IPs of Malalag, Cogon. the place was not visited by any other before. It so happened that it is Kitbog. He ministered to the Bilaan and I was assisting him without him knowing that I was receiving so many revelations. That was the beginning of Father's orchestration in letting me go up to that mountain. That is the Father's will, and that is where He brought me, and that is where I heard for 1 year the Father's calling became very apparent in my life, that He was the one really calling me. All doubts erased, nothing more of that denominational tie was left. It was all cut off. And I know in my heart that there is a really calling Father placed in my heart, relating that with the voice I heard in Korea before. So it all came back and were put together. And I knew without a doubt the Father has a calling for me. Doubts if it is really the Lord calling me. Doubts if I was not being deceived, because everybody said I was being deceived. Doubts of what is this, is this really true? Because I did not have this experience before. So all of those were solved, and many other things.
Although a tug-of-war was inside Pastor Apollo, the Almighty Father lavished him with heavenly comfort. Each time he thought of giving up, there were always heavenly reminders, whispers from the Father that affirm his special calling.
I grew up in the mountain for some years, but when I became an evangelist, I was already used to living in the city with my denomination. So I'm not really used in living in the mountains again like that mountain. I have to adjust to the distance and the way the people live, like they are out of civilization. So when you're used to living in the city already, you have to adjust to living in that kind of environment. Lonely, nothing to see, there's no lights, like in the city. I thought I was really a strong person. I found out there that I was not. I became very lonely and I found myself trying to survive that kind of environment. But if it's not only for the Father dealing with me, and it was only me, I would not be able to survive there in those times.
Pastor Apollo lived with these Lumads during his isolation in Kitbog. Aside from the gospel, he taught them ways of civilization.
Murag wala pa mi makailaw unsay mga pulong sa Dios ana. Wala ang ginahimo ni pastor kada hapon mga alas 7 hangtod alas 9 alas 10 musimba mi tanan musimba mi. Maayo gyud ang ginatudlo ni pastor. Didto na lang mi kamatngon og naamay Ginoo, mahadlok sa Ginoo.
Wadwata di langit di kaplabi na.
Well, every night we had Thanksgiving. So the Bilaans would come and they also have many dreams and visions. There was one Bilaan who spoke in Bilaan, but it is being interpreted in Tagalog. Her dream was that there was a well in Kitbog. The name of the well is Apollo. So I can only hear my name being said. I don't understand what they're saying. In her dream, there's a well in Kitbog called Apollo, and the lives of the Bilaan are centered upon that well. They get their water there, they wash there, they laundry there, they do everything around that well, and that is their life. And the name of the well is Apollo.
This is where Pastor Apollo baptized the Bilaan natives. We were many. All of us were baptized here. In this history of Pastor Apollo's life, this is the well that one of the Bilaans saw in a vision. The name Afulo was written in that well. Others also dreamt that Pastor Apollo will be given spiritual power from the Father, and that he is going to reign all over the world. Some received revelations that Pastor Apollo will never forsake Kitbog, and this was fulfilled now that he has returned. Pastor Apollo has helped us a lot. He taught us about good things and to fear God.
Yung balon na yan, ang tawag ng mga Bilaan sa panaginip is Apollo. Balon. Diyan sila naglalaba, nangigid ng Panginom, naliligo. Kaya dito kami lahat nagtapok. Tapos nagkuha ako ng tubig. Ganito yung dinadala ko. From the balloon, 43 years ago, still alive. The well, Apollo well. When I decided in my freedom of choice to follow him, you know, in my heart, when I decide like that, whether I have full understanding or not of who I follow, when I decide, I will not turn back from that decision. That is placed in my heart, even in the way I conduct my life. When there is something I will do, like making a decision for something, especially life-changing decision, when I know that it is right and I decide for it, I will stand by the decision until the day I die. So that's why when people decide to do this and they will tell me this, and then after a while they are tried and they go back, I disdain those kind of people because I'm not like that. I look at people like that in a very humiliating manner, because if I put them against my standard, that's not me. So when I decided to follow the Father, whether I have full understanding of what He wanted me to do or not, there's no turning back, no matter what. That's why I coined those words. My heart is fixed, my mind is made up. I will do the Father's will no matter what. So my Kitbog is called the Mountain of Decision. I'm back after 42 years.
Pastor Apollo has returned after 43 years to Kitbog. This is where the spiritual life of the Son began. This is where the Father created the Son from out of the fallen Adamic race. This is the wellspring of life, where one man was called and chosen for salvation in our generation today.
When I was here for 1 year, the Father talked to me and started my spiritual new life. It was a random trip. The planned trip before, 1 year ago, was really planned, but it was not the Father's will. So there were many kingdom citizens who were there waiting for me, but that was not yet the Father's will. Now it was only a random decision, and I was able to successfully go back at this time. So this is the Father's will. It's very surreal. It means it's like it's not true that I came back. Sabi pa ni General, parang deja vu ang pagbabalik ko dito. After 43 years, I stayed in this place for like a year, where all my questions were answered. The same hills, the same everything, but only the difference is that they cut off all of the trees that were there when I was there. There was like a forest in Kitbog before. When I saw it, that the trees were cut off and it was laid barren, you know, my heart sank within me. But this is why we are going back there to plant trees again. plant trees. I-reconstruct natin yung tulad itong kinalagyan ng bahay ko dito. I think this is the same place. But I remember this hill where we have the sanctuary. Over that hill. So we will reconstruct that also. And then we will fence the area and beautify it. And then one of our revelation, Kitbog became a city. So we'll make a city out of Kitbog. As well as the Covenant Mountain Paradise Garden of Eden restored. Ever think na in 40 years you can still come back. That's one lifetime, no? I'm still as strong as when I was here at 23 years old. So this is one of the historical places of the kingdom where the ministry of the appointed son began. So it's one destination, one spiritual heritage of the kingdom, pilgrimage destination of the sons and daughters whenever they come.
This well, Apollo. That means, Atinori?
Yes.
Apollo means water.
Living water.
Living water.
Ang tanan nga makainom, dili na mauhaw.
To all of you who are followers of the appointed son, sons and daughters, and those who are coming into the covenant, into the ark of salvation, then you sign your name and say the Father's will be done in your life. Then you will be given the spirit of obedience to the Father's will, just like me, to become sons and daughters, to inherit. You don't inherit heaven. You don't inherit what the Father has if you don't become a son and a daughter. And that's my ministry here today. You will learn of this, the spiritual historical events in the life of the Son from the beginning of my calling to where we are today.